Good afternoon. Namaste, namaste. I am Rosa J, doing it God's way each and every day. Like my new do. I got a new do. My daughter flattened my hair. I haven't washed it, of course, because if I wash it, it's going to curl right up. But you might see me that way again soon. Hey, Miss Myers. Renard, how are you? I hope I pronounced your name right. Great for showing up. Lee, share this out and like it, of course. I am here. You know, I always do this I am talk. Not every day, but mostly every day. And so today, I've been reading a couple of books for my business and for my growth and development. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is one, and I haven't even started talking about that one. And Think and Grow Rich for about the second or third time I'm reading it, and I'm pulling stuff. So this is what I got from today. You know, I love Napoleon Hill as a teacher. I enjoy him so much, and I enjoy a lot of his followers who have done great things. Hey, Daniel and Derek, how are you? Share this out, post it on your page so people can hear me. Because what I speak from my heart. I really do. Sometimes when I get on this, my heart becomes overflowing. So let's talk about what we're talking about today is about leadership. Leadership. And so I put a lot of things in the description. Basically, because I think a lot of folks really don't think about leadership. People just follow leaders, people who they see all the time, sometimes on the news, sometimes on the computer, sometimes in their groups. There are leaders. So I'm going to read what it says for those people who have not read it yet. Do you want to become a leader? This is what this is all about. Do you want to become a leader? There are two kinds of leaders. There are leaders that are known leaders, and others are followers. You have either the creative leader or the leader that is forced to become a leader, like kings and sometimes politicians. Ministers become forced into this situation to become a leader of their churches, business owners who pass down their businesses to their children. That's forced leadership. Forced leadership never really works for a very long time because in order to become a leader, you have to be a good follower. Are you a good follower? An intelligent follower? A true follower? As a follower, I believe that I should be able to speak to my leader. I should be able to tell my leader the truth, and they should be able to answer it because a leader has to be intelligent and open to expand, I believe. Now, Napoleon Hill doesn't say all that, but I believe a great leader is someone who can expand their consciousness and move into another level of leadership. I think that it takes a while. It's not something that is just dropped in your lap. Like I said, to be a good leader or a great leader, you have to be a good follower. As we were children, we had our leaders were our parents. Our leaders were our teachers. Our leaders were our church pastor. Sometimes our leaders were our older siblings. But then as we became more intelligent in listening and watching those leaders, we began to drop their beliefs and join and form our own beliefs. That's a good leader. That's a good leader. We follow for a while, that person, we get what we need to get, and then we move forward. We just do what we're doing. And I said that I am morphing into a great leader. So let's get back to what a leader is. What are the characteristics of a great leader? One is unwavering courage. You know, it's based upon the knowledge of yourself and your occupation. Remember, we talked about a couple of days ago about being educated in what you're doing. You know, it takes at least 3 to 5 years to become a master at what you're doing, but in some cases, it may take 8 years, and then you keep growing. No intelligent follower will be dominated by a leader for a very long time if he's not committed to what he's doing. If he doesn't move in self-courage, self-confidence. The next thing is having self-control. A man that cannot control himself could never, ever control others. Self-control sets a mighty example for one's followers. Yeah. Self-control. The more you're educated, the more as a leader you are intellectual, the more you will emulate self-control. The next one is number 3, a keen sense of justice. Without a keen sense of justice and fairness, no leader can command and retain the respect of his followers. A keen sense of justice. How do you move fairly? Do you move fairly in this world? Fairness is important. Defiance, definite, not defiance, definite decision-making skills. Definite. When you make a decision, you don't waver. And the only way you do waver is if you're not sure of yourself. You cannot lead others successfully if you are not sure of the decisions that you make. I know I have issues sometimes with where do I go? What do I do? I have so many places that I need to be in one day. Having a decision and just sticking to it, no matter what. I had that happen to me yesterday, and I made a decision to do something differently than what I had planned, and it turned out really well. The habit of doing more than you are paid for. And this one is a hard one, because a lot of times as a business owner or even in your job, we do not become willing to go to the higher level where we do more because we can, not because we're being compensated for it. And so many times in a job, you're not compensated for what you do. You know, it's amazing the things that I think about, just that are little things. I remember, and this has, well, I guess it does. You know, sometimes this has to do with just ordinary life. The habit of doing more than you're paid for. In my classroom, I used to tell the children, if you see something on the trash or something that's out of place, fix it. Their response was, I didn't do that. But when you walk around your house, do you pick the trash up and put it in the trash can? When you get out of your bed, do you make your bed? That has something to do with the habit of doing more than what you're paid for. It's a simple fact. If you have a business and someone calls you and they're not happy, how do you compensate them for that? Do you give gifts when you're doing a presentation? Freely giving. you freely receive. Having a pleasing personality. Careless people cannot become successful leaders. It calls for respect. No one will follow a leader unless they have a high sense of respect for themselves and for others. Smiling even when you're being criticized and not coming back with an excuse. Taking responsibility, that's another one. Willing to assume full responsibility for whatever goes on in your ordinary life. Or do you blame everybody? If you hadn't done this, I wouldn't have done that. No. I was reading today that if someone comes and says something negative, and this was by I'm reading the 7 Laws of Success by I read a lot of books at the same time, different times, but during the course of the day. 7 Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. And that was one of the things that he said. You have a choice as to how you respond. Respond more pleasingly, more pleasantly. You have that choice, or just be quiet. The sympathy, the next one, this is number 8. Sympathy and understanding. A successful leader is sympathetic with their followers. The more he must understand them and their problems. How can you come up with a solution if you don't know what the problems are? Number 9, mastery of details. A successful leader calls for mastery of details. What do you have to do to become and stay that leader? There's a system, and you become a master. You know, being able to tell people bad news and make them feel good about it. Now that's a skill. That's a skill. Mastery of details. Willingness to assume full responsibility for everything. Someone calls you up and they're not satisfied, take responsibility of it and then offer them something so that they will feel that you respect them. And then cooperation. This is number 11 and the last one, according to Napoleon Hill. A successful leader must understand and apply principles of cooperation and a cooperative effort, and be able to induce his followers to do the same. Leadership calls for power, and power calls for cooperation. Can you explain that? What do you think about that one? Not taking power or thinking that you can do it all by yourself, because you can't. Leaders do not become leaders. Successful leaders don't become leaders by themselves. Now, you have those forced leaders that do. You know, those military coups that they take over, corporations, companies come in and coop up your business, lies and spread all that. That's not a good leader. And eventually they will fall. You see it time and time again. You see it time and time again. So, of course, we talked about leadership of consent, and we talked about leadership of force. Which one are you? Remember, in your community, you are a leader, even if you're standing as a follower right now. And when someone calls on you, when your leader calls on you, say yes. Even if you're not sure that you can pull it off, guess what? The universe will give you all that you need to pull it off. And if you need help, do not be ashamed to say so. Somewhere in your community, there is a person that will assist you, partner up with you, make sure that you know and do the same thing and do the right thing. They will give you information. They will give you help. So a great leader becomes a great leader by being a great follower and little by little stepping up to take responsibility of something that their leader has asked them to do. How are you serving? It all comes together. You know, and I often talk about the groups that I belong to. And the reason why I belong to these groups is because I get that. I get that learning, that teaching. I see better ways of doing the things that I have done. And then I have a team of people that I actually work with. And I actually work for, and I coach them, and I pass on information, and we discuss stuff, and we do all kinds of things. I have a following of people who follow me on all my social medias. I didn't ask them to. They saw something. So now, let's talk about me. Let's talk about what I do. So I am teaching. I teach. You know, I was a born teacher. You know, some teachers are made. I was born to teach. And I have been classified as a master teacher. And I like that classification. I like the fact that I am a master teacher. That means that I can teach anything by studying the information. So I teach. I teach welding. Hey, Charlotte. Hot dog Russell, how are ya? Veronica. Monica, it's good to have you on. Of course, I said hello. Share this out. Give me some love. If what I said to you felt good, or if you learned something, let me know that I'm actually somewhere on point. So anyway, I belong to a lot of organizations. I belong to the Black CEOs, which I love, and I think I've been a part of their organization for about 8-9 years. I belong to the Love Journey Inc., who changed my whole mindset about paying myself first and actually knowing that I am God. Jesus Christ said that ye are gods. So I tithe into me, and then I tithe into everyone else. So I am also right now affiliated with 2 groups that I love immensely, the Women's Connection. The link is in the description. And the reason why I'm with them is because they do all kinds of training for free. You can become an elite member for $1. And they do training at 12 o'clock. They do training at 3. They do training later on in the evening. It is run by Layla Black. Give me tongue tied because I'm getting excited. Layla Black. And I love her. She did a training today on yucky feelings, negative feelings. When you get that, what do you do and how do you do it? It's on my page. I shared it. But that's in the link. And then I belong to a marvelous team called Team Golden Rule. And right now, we actually, and I offer everyone to open a free gold account. And the reason why I do this is because that's what I do. I take some of my cash and exchange it for real gold. And I'm grateful. I actually can carry it in my wallet. And actually, I can spend it with my Visa card that I get from there. I also save Bitcoins, and I can do the same with that. So I am grateful for the things that I've learned. So we have a next class that starts on October 16th. If you're interested, just hit me up. Leave it in a comment. If you're interested in learning about how to save gold, it's a 6-week class. We meet once a week online, and it is amazing. I've learned so much. So much. We have 3 teachers right now. Sensei Sabira, Dana Vesley, and Samuel Hill. All are experts in their field, and we just expand. I love it. Hey, Taj, I'm glad to see you here. Come on the replay because it's almost 20 minutes. And I try not to stay on this long. So if you're interested in being a leader, a saver of gold, joining some of my organizations that you can learn from, expand from, let me know. This world is so fabulous for me. What I'm looking forward to in later next year is to travel more places. You know, some of you might know I threw my passport. Hey, Tiffany, I threw my passport away, so I have not recovered it again. But as soon as I do, which will be happening before the end of this year, I will start traveling more outside of the country. Oh, the one thing that I didn't tell you about the Bitcoin, gold and Bitcoin class is after you get, you learn how to work the system, exchanging and spending or circulating, paying bills with Bitcoins and gold. But you also come out with 6 grams of gold and as many Bitcoins as you want. You also learn how the trading system works, how the mining system works. And in spite of what everybody says, Bitcoins are going to be here for a while, and there are millionaires making millions of people making millions of Bitcoins, which equal millions of dollars. So I keep on doing this and I keep on growing, and it's all good. In fact, if you want, let me say one more thing. Do you mind? I guess I don't see no thumbs down. We're actually Tiffany Daniel is on the is one of my co-hosts on Live Today talk show, and she is actually going to interview a Team Golden Roar Rolita Noble this Sunday on Facebook. It's the Live Today talk show at 5 o'clock. So I'll be talking more about that later. But right now, if you're interested in joining the class, tell me and I will contact you through Facebook. If you give me your email, I will contact you through email. You can message me, Minister Rosa J. And I will be doing this video for starting next week, strictly on my Rosa J. Hodge One Soul Purpose page. So go like it and notify, so when I start doing these videos there, you'll be notified. I am so grateful that you came to hear this. Share this out. It's a lot of good information. I pray that you are blessed and have a good God day. And look, I love this. Namaste. Thank you for allowing me to share.